Hi, man, with etrailer. If you have a 2023 BMW and you're going through some more extreme situations and you want something that's going to be pretty easy to tighten on your tires, then the Pewag Tire Chains with the square links and cams are going to be a great option for you. So let's check it out. Now we are going to have this on tire size 275, 45, R20. That's just the tire size we have today. It will fit a variety of other sizes. And we're also going to have this on the rear axle is what the manual recommends. It also recommends turning off your rear axle steering so you can safely drive with these chains. Now if you're not sure if this is going to fit your vehicle, you can actually plug in your vehicle's information into our fit guide to find the right one for you. Taking a closer look at these links, these are going to be made from a nickel manganese alloy steel, so they're going to be very robust, strong, and they're going to be rust resistant, so they're going to last you a long time. They're also going to have this square shape to them, and they're going to have these grooves in them. And those grooves are going to help give you additional traction, and that with the size of these links are going to make them more ideal for those extreme situations of driving through that deep snow and ice. And as you can see, we have plenty of room still left in our wheel well, so we won't make contact with anything. And looking at the front side, you'll notice we have that ladder pattern. That's going to give you more traction when you're stopping and starting. And right next to that, you're going to have your cams. Your cams are what makes this a really easy installation, because a lot of chains won't have any other tensioning devices built in, so it's kind of hard to get a really good snug fit. Having these is going to make that process a lot easier, and we are going to have 3 built into each chain. While those cams do help a lot, I still recommend using a rubber tensioner for the reason when you're driving down the road, what can happen a lot of times is your chains will shift, and once they shift, they usually loosen up. So what this is going to do is constantly apply tension to your chains so you don't have to worry about them loosening up, making contact with something. Now this is going to come with your kit, so you have to find that separately, and we do have plenty of them on our website. Now what will come with your kit is going to be 2 sets of chains, a tool to help tighten these down, and this bag. Now this bag is pretty light duty. I'm not a super big fan of it, especially with these more rugged chains that are probably going to tear through here pretty quickly. So what I'd recommend doing is investing in a small tote to keep your chains in, so they're a little bit more easy to access. Now if you are curious to see what this installation process is going to look like, just stay tuned. We'll walk you through the process. To start off the installation, I'm going to grab some gloves just to make this a little bit easier and lay out my chains. Now there's a few things I'm looking for when I lay them out. The first thing is just making sure there's no damages to the links themselves. Once I've established that, then I can check the orientation. I want to make sure the flat part of these hooks are facing down so they're making contact with the tire. And then next to that, we want to make sure our cams are close to us, furthest away from your tire. We also want to make sure it's not in the locked position or the tightened position. That's what that position is going to look like. So if it looks like this, just switch it around, and you should be able to put it on your tire now. And the best way I find to do that is to just grab it from the center, lift up, and then drape it over. And when you drape it over, you want to try to make sure this is even as possible. So you don't want it to make contact with your rim, because it can scratch something up. And then if you put your hand back here, you can actually figure out where it's sitting on that tire, making sure it's even all the way across. You eventually hit the point where you reach down to the bottom where you're going to have these connection points, and we can just kind of set those out so it's a little bit easier to make those connection points. And speaking of those connections, we're going to start on the back side because it's the tougher side. So we're going to grab this metal hook and connect it to those metal links on the other side. And this might take you a few attempts just because this is a little bit cramped underneath here, and you want to make sure this isn't too tight where you're going to get an uneven fit on either side. You want to make sure it's not too loose where it's going to just fall off your tire and damage something. And the connection on the front side is going to be the same process. We're going to be going as far as we can, grabbing onto one of these links. Barely just get onto this one here. There we go. And from here, this is still kind of loose, so I'm going to start tightening up these cams. We're just going to put this flat end of this tool inside that center hole, then twist this around. I'll tighten this up. I want to keep doing this until we either run out of cams or we can no longer get this any tighter. This second one's already getting pretty tight too, so we might be able to stop there. Let me just see how it feels over here, if I can turn that or not. Yeah, that one's on there pretty good, so I think we should be good in that respect. Now I'm still going to put a rubber tensioner on here just in case, for the reasons I talked about earlier. And when you do this, I recommend doing this in a star pattern, just so we get even tension all the way around. And when you're putting these together or hooking this on, make sure these hooks are facing away from your tire, just so they don't puncture anything. Then you're going to repeat this process on the other side, after which you can pull forward or back up some, just to make sure nothing's shifting too much. And if it looks good, you can take it out for a ride. Well, that's just a look at the Pewag Tire Chains with the square links and cams on our 2023 BMW X5. I'm Matt, thanks for watching.